The human mind is a strange paradox. Intelligence, logic, and creativity are celebrated as hallmarks of success. Yet the very traits that make someone smart can also trap them in financial mediocrity. Brilliance does not automatically confer wealth. In fact, the smarter a person is, the more susceptible they are to subtle traps, mental patterns, emotional blind spots, and cognitive illusions that undermine their financial health. Money is not just numbers. It is a reflection of human behavior, biases, and the invisible frameworks of decision-making. For the intelligent, the line between cleverness and self-sabotage is often razor-thin, and crossing it can mean the difference between thriving and perpetually struggling to make ends meet. The first trap is overconfidence. Highly intelligent individuals develop an internal narrative that intelligence equals competence. They trust their judgment implicitly, believing that complex financial systems, investment opportunities, or entrepreneurial ventures will bend to their understanding. This overestimation can be fatal in the real world. Markets are not purely rational. People are not purely rational. Overconfidence blinds smart people to basic truths. Consistent saving, disciplined investing, and controlled spending often outperform intricate, theoretically perfect strategies. A brilliant mind can create elaborate investment models, predict market movements, or design revolutionary business plans, yet fail because the simple rules of finance, compounding, patience, and risk management are ignored in favor of intellectual stimulation. Procrastination masquerading as planning is another insidious factor. Intelligent minds love to prepare. They analyze, simulate, and rehearse every scenario, seeking the perfect strategy, researching the stock market, evaluating investment risks, or comparing every financial advisor becomes an endless cycle. Meanwhile, wealth rarely favors preparation over execution. Opportunities move quickly, and hesitation often means missing the critical window. Those of average intelligence who act decisively, even imperfectly, reap rewards. The market does not wait for certainty. The highly intelligent are trapped in a purgatory of analysis, overthinking, and hesitation, confusing meticulous planning with strategic wisdom, while their wealth stagnates in inertia. Emotion plays a pivotal role. Smart individuals are not immune to fear, greed, or envy. In fact, their awareness of complexity often amplifies these emotions. They foresee every potential failure, every negative outcome, every ripple effect of their decisions. Anxiety paralyzes action. The fear of losing, of embarrassment, or of making mistakes outweighs the potential gain. Emotional intelligence, or the lack thereof, becomes the dividing line between financial success and stagnation. Wealth is behavioral. Money rewards those who act, adapt, and take calculated risks, not those who obsessively calculate every possibility. A brilliant mind can be immobilized by foresight, while the less brilliant act boldly, unconsciously exploiting human behavioral patterns to grow wealth. The allure of passion over profit further sabotages intelligent individuals. Many brilliant minds pursue intellectual satisfaction, creativity, or curiosity-driven projects that may never yield substantial income. Scientists, writers, artists, or inventors often assume that brilliance alone will generate wealth. Yet, financial success requires more than talent. It requires marketing, negotiation, networking, and strategic execution. A genius may develop a groundbreaking technology, but without sales acumen or social leverage, their innovation languishes. Meanwhile, a moderately intelligent individual with interpersonal skills and practical discipline monetizes mediocre ideas effectively. The smart person's obsession with mastery or perfection blinds them to the pragmatic realities of income generation. Passion is noble, but without financial strategy, it rarely creates wealth. Self-sabotage lurks in subtle ways. Overcomplicating simple financial habits is a hallmark of intelligence gone awry. Smart individuals debate endlessly about the best savings vehicle, the perfect investment portfolio, or the optimal budgeting strategy. While they refine theoretical models, practical action is delayed. Meanwhile, those with average intellect adopt simple, repeatable financial habits. They save consistently, invest steadily, and avoid distractions. Perfectionism becomes an invisible prison. Financial literacy is not about perfect knowledge. It is about disciplined, consistent application. Wealth compounds not in brilliance, but in repeated action. The intelligent mind often confuses perfection for competence, undermining financial growth. Risk perception is another hidden snare. High IQ individuals overanalyze potential downsides, fearing loss, humiliation, or exposure. Every opportunity is dissected, every possibility weighed, and every contingency imagined. While caution can prevent mistakes, excessive analysis immobilizes action. Meanwhile, risk is the engine of wealth creation. Those who understand probability in a practical sense embrace calculated losses and act decisively gain momentum. Fear of failure can be fatal. The market rewards courage, adaptability, and timing, not sheer intellect. Smart people often fail to act because their brain perceives danger in every opportunity, preventing them from crossing the threshold where risk transforms into reward. Social skills, or lack thereof, compound the problem. Human capital is critical for wealth. Networks, influence, and negotiation skills are often more valuable than technical brilliance. Smart people may underestimate the importance of relationships. They may excel at ideas but struggle to sell them, convince stakeholders, or cultivate strategic partnerships. Meanwhile, moderately intelligent individuals with strong interpersonal skills leverage networks to generate opportunities. Solitary genius rarely creates fortune. Collaborative influence does. Social blindness becomes a hidden barrier to wealth, as intelligence alone cannot compensate for the inability to connect, persuade, or collaborate. Lifestyle inflation is another psychological trap. Intelligent individuals often believe that their skills entitle them to high standards of living, even when income does not support it. Cars, homes, vacations, and status symbols drain resources. They fall into a paradox where higher income fuels higher expenditure, leaving little for savings or investments. Meanwhile, disciplined individuals with modest lifestyles accumulate wealth passively. Smart people can out-earn others, but fail to build wealth because consumption keeps pace with earnings. This pattern, intellectually justified but financially destructive, is a recurring theme among the intelligent but broke. Debt traps and financial overextension are also frequent. Credit cards, student loans, mortgages, and lifestyle loans appeal to smart people who believe they can outsmart repayment. They underestimate interest, overestimate future earnings, or assume complex strategies will offset financial obligations. Cognitive biases, including optimism bias and overconfidence, exacerbate the problem. Debt compounds silently, while intellect fails to intervene effectively. Meanwhile, disciplined individuals maintain control over liabilities, avoiding leverage unless it is strategically advantageous. Intelligence without financial prudence is powerless against compounding debt. Cognitive biases further entangle the intelligent. Confirmation bias, illusion of control, and survivorship bias create a false sense of mastery. Smart people study exceptional success stories, assuming replicability, while ignoring statistical realities. They overestimate their predictive power and underestimate randomness. Markets, business, and careers are influenced by chance as much as skill. The intelligent fall into the trap of believing that intellect guarantees outcomes, failing to adapt to uncertainty and randomness. Meanwhile, the moderately disciplined embrace repetition, process, and consistency, exploiting probability without the arrogance of assumed control. Time mismanagement also affects intelligent individuals. Deep thinkers may focus on long-term vision or intellectual pursuits while neglecting the immediate actions that generate wealth. Delayed execution, missed deadlines, and prolonged planning reduce earning potential. Wealth is created in moments of decisive action, not in endless contemplation. While genius thrives on ideas, money thrives on execution. The intelligent can be paralyzed by prioritizing complexity over simplicity, losing the cumulative advantages of consistent action. The illusion of meritocracy is another psychological trap. Highly intelligent people assume that skill and effort will naturally lead to wealth. Yet, financial outcomes are influenced by social capital, luck, timing, and systemic advantages. Intelligence alone does not guarantee opportunity. Many brilliant minds fail because they misattribute outcomes to effort rather than external factors, leading to frustration, poor decision-making, or misguided strategies. Understanding this brutal reality is critical. Wealth is rarely a reflection of intelligence. It is a reflection of adaptability, discipline, and opportunity exploitation. Procrastination in entrepreneurship is another factor. Smart individuals may conceptualize brilliant business ideas, but delay execution in pursuit of perfect conditions. Startups, market trends, and investor sentiment move faster than intellect. Opportunities vanish while overthinking persists. Meanwhile, action-oriented individuals, even with modest ideas, capture markets, build momentum, and learn from iterative mistakes. Wealth favors movement, not thought alone. The intelligent mind often mistakes analysis for preparation and hesitation for strategy, while fortunes are quietly created by the proactive. Lifestyle and identity misalignment compounds the problem. Intelligent people often define themselves by achievement, curiosity, or innovation rather than financial pragmatism. They prioritize intellectual satisfaction over economic survival. Money becomes secondary, planning becomes theoretical, and wealth is delayed indefinitely. In contrast, those who integrate financial strategy into their identity, regardless of intellect, achieve tangible results. Intelligence alone cannot replace disciplined action, strategic thinking, and prioritization of material goals. Fear of mediocrity also drives poor decisions. Smart individuals often compare themselves to high achievers or historical geniuses. This pressure can lead to overambitious projects, speculative investments, or risky ventures without proper risk assessment. Paradoxically, the pursuit of exceptionalism, when combined with financial literacy, often produces financial instability. Meanwhile, moderate-minded individuals embrace achievable, repeatable strategies, compounding modest but reliable wealth over time. The intelligent mind's obsession with brilliance often undermines long-term stability. The comfort of complexity is another trap. Money offers simple solutions: save, invest, diversify, and live below means. Yet, intelligent individuals crave complexity. They design intricate strategies, over-engineer portfolios, and create elaborate business models. Complexity seduces the intellect, but it often obscures fundamentals. Wealth grows in simplicity, consistency, and discipline, not in elaborate models. The intelligent, mesmerized by their own ideas, overlook this brutal truth. Habits and routines play a hidden role. Wealth is built on habitual action, daily saving, disciplined spending, routine investment, and incremental learning. Intelligence without consistent habits is like a sharp tool left unused. The brilliant mind may plan, theorize, and calculate, yet without habitual implementation, financial growth remains stagnant. Routine and repetition outperform brilliance when applied consistently over years. Over-reliance on intellect creates a dangerous hubris. Many highly intelligent people believe their cognitive superiority allows them to beat the system. They attempt speculative investments, gamble with business decisions, or manipulate markets. The system, however, is designed for unpredictability, human emotion, and chance. Brilliance cannot immunize against uncertainty. Those who respect the limits of their knowledge, embrace discipline, and act within probability rules accumulate wealth steadily. Hubris leads the intelligent into catastrophic failures. External expectations and social pressure contribute to poor outcomes. Brilliant minds are often trapped in societal narratives. Achievement must be intellectual, success must be innovative, and money is secondary. They pursue projects aligned with reputation or curiosity rather than financial pragmatism. Meanwhile, moderate individuals prioritize income, stability, and compounding advantages over ego or prestige. The intelligent are ensnared by their own values and societal myths, sacrificing wealth to intellectual or moral ideals. The compounding of small mistakes becomes lethal over time. a slightly delayed investment, a small overspending habit, a minor debt mismanagement, all magnify exponentially. The intelligent, overconfident in recovery or correction, ignore the slow erosion. Wealth is destroyed gradually by neglecting fundamentals. Meanwhile, disciplined but less brilliant individuals, through consistency and habit, accumulate advantage steadily. Overconfidence in intellect blinds smart people to the silent, relentless power of compounding error. Mental fatigue and decision overload exacerbate the problem. High IQ individuals often juggle complex problems daily. Financial decisions become another cognitive load. Exhaustion impairs judgment, leading to poor money choices. Meanwhile, individuals with less mental complexity can make simpler, more consistent financial decisions. Intelligence paradoxically becomes a liability in managing everyday financial discipline, producing subtle but cumulative deficits. The final factor is the invisible enemy: time. Smart people often believe intellect compresses timelines, that cleverness accelerates wealth. Yet, the world is governed by compounding, patience, and consistent action. Wealth grows quietly, incrementally, imperceptibly. Brilliance does not shortcut these forces. The intelligent, seduced by the idea of acceleration, often miss the slow accumulation that builds true fortune. Time rewards discipline, humility, and action, not raw intellect. In conclusion, intelligence is a double-edged sword. It grants insight, problem-solving ability, and creativity, yet it fosters overconfidence, procrastination, complexity, fear, and social misalignment. Smart people stay broke not because they are incapable, but because their strengths disguise subtle traps. Wealth is behavioral, emotional, and strategic, not purely intellectual. Execution, consistency, risk management, and social acumen outweigh genius in financial arenas. Understanding this dark psychology of intelligence is the first step toward liberation. Only by mastering habits, emotional resilience, and action can the brilliant mind finally convert intellect into lasting wealth.